Hi everyone, welcome to History 2110. Hope everyone had a wonderful summer, and I'm excited to see so many people back on campus today when I was driving around earlier when I went to my office. Um, Unfortunately, this class, or fortunately, depending on how you see it, is not going to be on campus. It's going to be completely online. So I just wanted to give you a video because this is a completely online course. It is going to be asynchronous. That means that there are deadlines for the things that you have to do, but there are not meeting times that we meet online throughout the semester. So there's nowhere you have to be at a certain place. You never have to be online for like a Zoom or WebEx or anything like that. But what we will do is I will post announcements, talk to you through email, through iCollege, and to keep into contact and keep everybody updated that way. And then every week you will have a certain amount of stuff to complete for that week, and then you'll have a final. So we'll go over all of that. So this video here is essentially so I can go through the syllabus. For those of you who are freshmen, or this is your first time taking a college course, or maybe first time taking an online course, you know, the syllabus is essentially the same. What we have essentially is a unofficial contract between me and you. This is so that you can know what to expect from the course. You can know what your assignments are, what the policies are, who I am, how to reach me, different things like that. And then it shows your expectations too, right? Or my expectations for you and your expectations for me. Well, I guess an introduction would be good before we jump into this. I'm Dr. Christopher Gleason. I am an American historian. I focus on the 20th century. I work on kind of the intersection between religion and science, sexuality and culture, kind of those things that have happened through the 20th century. And I think that's really an important perspective for this course because we're going to kind of see as we move forward the big themes of American history. So this course is mandated by the state. You have to have taken this. Normally at many colleges, this is a course that's broke up into 2 semesters, where we'll do one from kind of pre-colonial times or colonial times to the Civil War, and then the Civil War to the present. But here at Georgia State, we do this in kind of a sprint from beginning to end. So what I want you to think about in this course is when you come out of this is, you know, what are some of the foundational things that have changed American culture, that have kind of defined the American experience, the ideas on which America was built, kind of really anything that has to do with the experience of not just American citizens, but how the world sees America, its place in kind of the larger geopolitical structure as well. So, you know, and this is a very contentious time politically, and we're going to kind of see the history of ideas, culture, politics. We're going to look at pivotal figures. When you come out of here, I really want you to be able to kind of understand a narrative time flow of American history, right? This isn't a date-heavy kind of approach. This is more of a thematic or idea kind of centered approach, right? So let me start here, and I'll go through the syllabus here so you can have a clear idea of the expectations and all the information that you need, okay? This is History 2110, Survey of American History, Spring 21 online, Fall 21 online. Sorry about that. So I'm your instructor. Here's my email. Now, this is very important. A lot of, I have been a student at Georgia State prior to this. So when you're looking in your search bar in your email and you put in C. Gleason 1, there might be a C. Gleason 1 at student.esu that comes up. Do not email me at that email. I'm no longer a student. It's still accessible. Their emails will go to it, but I don't see those most of the time. Or ever. So if you email me questions or, you know, comments, anything to that email, it's very likely that you will not get a response back. So it's very important that you look on the syllabus and find that C. Gleason 1 at gsu.edu. There's no student in that, okay? And I will get those. So those come straight to me. I do have an office location at 25 Park Place. Because I am doing part-time instructing, those office hours will be by appointment, and because this is an online thing. So you can come meet with me if you need to meet face-to-face, or if you would like to. I am open to meeting face-to-face, despite the fact that this is an online course. But that being said, it's probably easier for most of us to meet through WebEx or Zoom or through a phone call. But I will accommodate whatever approach you need. Okay. Syllabus, very important that you read the whole syllabus. Look at the details about the assignments, the dates, everything that's incorporated in the syllabus, right? Because those are extremely important. So a lot of times I'll get students say, well, I didn't know this, or I didn't, it's kind of one of the running jokes in higher education. It's like, well, it's in the syllabus, right? So this is very important that you look at this, because this is the overarching structure of the course. And this is when you say, I didn't know, or I turned it in a week late, and I'll say, well, it was on the syllabus, right? And I have a lot of students, so, it's very difficult for me to make unnecessary exceptions for people because they didn't read the information, okay? And I say that with all care. Course description, this is a survey that this is a course that provides a survey from European discovery through the present in one semester. It is a sprint, meaning to highlight the basic periods, themes, and ideas that have shaped American history. It focuses on intellectual, social, political, religious, and cultural history from the colonial to the present, right? And we're going to really look at competing themes of what America should be, or these really deep disagreements about what America should be, is, does it live up to its expectations, how has it gone wrong, how has it gone right, we're going to talk about all of those things, right? Obviously, because this is an online course, you'll need access to a PC or a Mac that can facilitate the iCollege, where you can access iCollege all the time, be able to watch the videos in iCollege, be able to read the material in iCollege, to submit your papers, to write a Microsoft Word document. I do not like, personally, when I get Google Docs, because sometimes they are, in the way they're exported, are very difficult for me to open. And sometimes when I'm grading them, right down to the end of a grading period or something, I might not be able to access it the way I should. So if you use Google Docs, which you can, make sure that you export it as a Word or PDF document. Okay, that's very important. That way I can see it, right, easily. General education goals, I think I've kind of touched over this. We're gonna, hopefully you'll come out of this class being able to effectively evaluate claims. Sometimes you will, especially us being in America, or the US, I should say, you will see things on news outlets or blogs or in conversation at bars or whatever, and people will make historical claims about what the Civil War was about, liberalism in the 20th century, these kind of big overarching statements, or, especially because our society is so politically polarized in the present, you will hear, very partisan statements. And so what I want is, when you come out of this course, to be able to analyze those statements and come to your own conclusions, right? I'm not here to tell you what to think, but I am here to tell you how to think historically, right? And so that's very important to me, that you can, if someone tells you something about whatever it is, you can, if you don't know how to immediately dismantle that argument in your mind, you will be able to know how to at least access the sources that will give you the truth about it, right? Very important. We will read both primary and secondary sources, right? So primary sources, if you remember from high school or other courses, are sources that are actually written by someone in the time, right? It's directly about their experience or about something, and then secondary sources are something commenting on those primary sources, right? So something may be written after, like a textbook is a secondary source, right? We have a textbook in this course. So we'll be using our textbook, we'll be using Dr. Young's video lectures, we'll be using a host of different kind of materials, but we will be supplementing that along the way with primary source readings, which is very important, right? So your required text for this course is Jeffrey Young, The Dream of America. You'll notice that is completely accessible online through iCollege. I've broken it up, and we'll go through this in a second, where you go into your weekly units, you'll go into your modules. There's 10 modules for each unit, right? And at the end of that, there will be a textbook chapter to read, right? So it's completely free to you, and it's broken up according to the week's material. So you don't have to, sort through a book, and you don't have to buy anything, which is great. Academic honesty. Obviously, cheating can get you failed in the course, lose your financial aid, possibly expelled from school, right? So very important. It's also important to note that what some people forget is that you can plagiarize yourself. So if you've turned in a paper or an assessment or any kind of thing for a different course and you resubmit it for this course, that is considered plagiarism, Mike. So you have to produce new content for every course that you take, right? So that's very important to remember. I think that, I try to make it where cheating is not an issue in this course. This is an open note, open book course, so you can use the material while you're taking your quizzes. You can use your notes. You can use, don't call a friend. Don't take, don't. There's no group taking, and of these quizzes and stuff. But most of these things, other than the quizzes, which are randomly generated, also, so you won't necessarily have the same questions as a friend for that purpose. But on top of that, most of these things I make writing assignments. So obviously, if I get two papers that are the same, it's very easy for me to decipher that, right? So we'll talk about that in a second. Obviously, if I catch someone cheating, I am ethically liable. Like, I have to turn that in, right, or penalize that. So don't put me in that position, please. Attendance policies. This is an online course. There is no attendance. That being said, there are quizzes each week and writing assignments each week. There's quizzes each week, and then there's writing assignments 4 times throughout the semester, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, if you don't do I have to turn in an attendance policy or attendance report, essentially, after the second week of courses. So if you don't complete your quizzes for the first and second week, I will have to report that, and you will likely be dropped from the course for not attending, right? So your participation in the material is your attendance, right? Very important. Office of Disability Services. If you have any kind of disabilities, I'm happy to accommodate anything that I need to do. That being said, you have to register it through the Office of Disability Services, and they will let me know, and that way it's official. And I'll be happy to do whatever I need to do for you. GSU email policy. I will reiterate this one time. Do not email me through. There's a messaging system built into iCollege. Do not message me through iCollege. I never see those. I do not use the messaging system through iCollege. I only use cgleason1@gsu.edu. So do not use the iCollege, and I keep saying this, but students every semester do it, regardless of how many times I say it. Do not email me through iCollege, and do not send anything to your student account. Also, when you send me an email, do not send it from your Gmail, Yahoo, whatever account either. It needs to be from your official student email account. And there's a number of reasons for that. The primary one being so it'll go to my direct inbox, right, and not go to my spam or whatever. But it just keeps things official, right? So make sure that you email me from your student ID to my cgleason1@gsu.edu. Okay, hopefully that's enough of covering that. Course evaluations. At the end of this course, hopefully you will enjoy the course. You are free to express your discontent. If not, you will be given you will turn in a course evaluation through the school. There's also rate your professor, whatever you can go on, right? Grading scale. This is a plus and minus grading scale. This is beneficial to some and not beneficial to others. If you're a B+ student, it's good for you. If you're an A- student, like I was in many of my courses, it might not be as great. But that being said, it is a little more specific, right? So keep that in mind. And I put the grading scale on the syllabus here so you can see it. So here's the assignments, which you probably care the most about. You have quizzes. There are 13 quizzes throughout this semester. I think I did 12 last time. So there are 13 quizzes at 10 points apiece. So that puts you at 130 points for your quizzes. There's a quiz due at the end of each week. Quizzes will cover the material from the units, which I'll talk about in a second. I'll talk about them now, right? So if you log on to iCollege and you go over to the side, let me pull mine up real quick. Faculty, college. Oh, don't do that to me. There we go. Boop, boop. So if you log into iCollege and you pick this course, Survey of U.S. History, section 005. All right, you can see here on the right hand, you'll see that I just posted, I'm about to post a video going over the syllabus. And then on the right hand section, or right hand under content browser, you will see syllabus, lectures and textbook, chapters, readings, and then there's a final exam that I have not put in there yet, but you will see very shortly. So each week, you will go under lectures and textbook chapters, click it. There will be a unit 1, unit 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 13. So this is very easy because each unit corresponds to a week, right? So this week, you'll go under unit 1, lectures and textbook chapter, click it, and you'll see that there is 10 modules. You will go through and complete each one of those modules. They don't take long, right? So you'll click on module 1.1, you will see a video come up and the text under. So if you are a video learner or you want to read the text, they roughly correlate to each other, give or take. It's good for you to watch the video and read the text, but it's essentially the same material, right? So you will go through each one of those modules, which should only take you, a few minutes a piece. You can spread them out over the week. You can do them all at once if you want. It's up to you. And then you will go down and read the textbook chapter for chapter 1, right? So, and then after you've completed that, you will go up to assignments up at the top. When it drops down, you'll see quizzes, right? Click quizzes, and you'll see unit 1 quiz. Click that, and it will take you to unit 1 quiz, right? There is no time limit on the quizzes, but you just have to have those quizzes. You can't go in and out of them. So if you open it up, you have to finish it. But after you need to finish that quiz every week, week 1, week 2, unit 1, unit 2 corresponds, by 11:59 on Sunday of that week, right? So this week, you will have until Sunday at midnight, 11:59, to finish the material for week 1, right? For unit 1, week 1. Week and unit are the same, right? Pretty straightforward. There are going to be 10 multiple choice questions, scored 1 out of 10, okay? The good thing is there's 13 of them. They're worth 130, which is over 100, so you can miss a few here and there, right? And it's not going to kill you, right? I have a lot of students that make a 4 or 5 on one of them because they're not really sure how to study or didn't go, some of them are, fairly specific. So what I would do is, if I were you, is I would go under the unit 1 lectures and textbook, and as I was looking through the material, I would take notes on it or note where the information is, what it's talking about, kind of do an outline, and the same with the textbook. That way, when I go back in, since it's open notes, right, I will be able to have my notes on it, have studied, looked over the notes before I took the quiz so I understand the information, and then if there's something that I'm not real sure about, I can easily find it, right? Because I'm more concerned about you knowing the answers to learning the material than I am about stumping you on a quiz question, right? And some people will find that some of the quiz questions are pretty easy and straightforward. Some students have said that they're a little specific. So either way, it's open book, open notes, right? So if you take good notes, and you can go back in very quickly and see, however, then that's going to be beneficial to you, right? Good. Let's go back to our syllabus. There we go. Okay, now secondly, other than the quizzes, you're going to have primary source analysis. So if you go again to your homepage on your iCollege, you will notice that there's a tab under lectures and textbook chapters that says readings. Most of these are readings. Some of them are 1 or 2 are videos. Most of them are primary sources. 1 or 2 are secondary sources. So either way, you're going to have one for each week that you're supposed to read and take notes on, right? Most of them are fairly short, and they're going to correlate to something that is in the unit that we talked about that week, right? So if you'll notice here that throughout the semester, there will be 4 times where you have to turn in an analysis. Now, I've given you here in the syllabus kind of a bold statement of what I'm looking for. A lot of people get choked up about what these are. Don't do that. This is a very straightforward assignment, right? So I'm going to read, in addition to the quizzes, there'll be 4 source analysis due throughout the semester. For each week, under the readings tab on iCollege, there is a reading or a video. I call them readings. Most are historical documents, some are videos. Throughout the semester, students will complete 4 reading analysis. Now listen, the first half of the page should explain who the author or subject is and summarize what they're saying. Summarize what they're saying in the document, right? The second half should relate the document to the material that we covered. Why is it relevant to what we've been talking about all week, right? Students should be able to articulate why the author is saying what they're saying, what perspective they're coming from. Are they a slave owner? Are they an abolitionist? Are they a civil rights leader? Tell me something about that person that you learned during the week, or at least the context from which they came, if you didn't learn something very specific about that person, but most of the time they will be incorporated in there. What were their motivations or concerns? These are all just general questions. You don't have to answer each one of those questions, but you have to write a 1-page, double-spaced, Times New Roman paper with 1-inch margins, okay? And this is very, very, very important. I have students that turn in this MLA-style header where it's their name, my name, the date, the class, and it's this double-spaced thing on the left-hand side that takes up the first, sometimes third of the page, sometimes half of the page, right? It's very important that you do not do that. I want a full page of your ideas. So you can write your name if you want. You don't even have to do that. When you submit it, I see who you are, and then I see your paper. I know my name, I know the date, I know the course, right? So you don't have to do that. Please don't, because if you turn in a paper where you have a header at the top that takes up, a third of the page, if you have at least written another third of the page going into the second page, or if you've only finished that 1 page, that's not a full page, right? I want a full page of your ideas. This is very important. There's only 4 of them. It's not a lot of work, but I want you to be thoughtful. Tell me, you can even tell me what you think about it, but I don't want so much a long-winded opinion. I want you to tell me what in your own words, what these people are saying and why it matters in relation to what we talked about that week. And that's it. If you have questions, email me about that, but I think it's fairly straightforward. I'm going to try to get those first ones back to you quickly. You'll also notice that you don't have to do one every week. There's only 4, but there are due dates. This is another important part. We're going to have I think it's 4, and then there's a due date. So for that first due date, which I'll talk about in a second, you can pick any one of those 4 to do. You can turn them in that week. You can turn them in any week up until that due date. When you work on the second one, you have to do after that section. So each one is a different section. I don't want you to do an analysis on the first 4 and then never do another analysis, right? You have to do one in the first section, in the second section, third, and fourth, right? And I'll point that out in a second. Final exam, very important. There's going to be a final exam in this course. It is going to be a 4-page essay. I'm going to give you probably 6 essay questions to pick from. These are going to be broad questions, and I'm going to give these to you very early in the semester, probably 2 or 3 weeks in. I'm going to give you these so you can think about them throughout the whole semester. You can even work on them or kind of outline. That way you'll have a good product. That way you don't have to, it's not a timed thing, right? I'm not trying to spring things on you. I want you to think about this all semester, right? These questions, guiding questions, and then you'll produce 2 2-page. You'll answer, pick one that you like, write 2 pages on it, pick another one you like, write 2 pages on it. That way I get 4 pages that answer 2 different questions, right? We'll talk about that, or I'll post more in the announcements about that as well. So real quick here, finishing up, course schedule. Week 1, we're going to talk about colonialization. We'll read Columbus's journal. You're going to do Unit 1, right? And then finish that quiz by January 15th, right? Week 2, We're going to read John Winthrop, City on a Hill. We're going to talk about the colonial experience, what it was like in the 1700s. You're going to have Unit 2 and John Winthrop. Unit 2 quiz finished by the 22nd, and read John Winthrop. Week 3, we talk about the Enlightenment and slavery and religion. We're going to read the Declaration of Independence. You will have Unit 3 and the quiz for Unit 3 done by January. Ooh, I got to fix that. All right, I got to fix these dates. I'll fix the dates. That's still for spring semester. I pulled up the wrong one. Give me 1 second. Syllabus. So sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. So week 1, Columbus journals. It's the same material. You will have that done by August 29th, right? Week 2, you will have the quiz done by September 5th, and you will read John Winthrop, City on a Hill. Week 3, Enlightenment, Religion, and Slavery. We'll read the Declaration of Independence, like I said. And you will, let me move this over. You will have that material done by September 12th. Week 4, now this is important because week 4, by September 19th, you will see there is in red, you will have one of those reading responses due, right? So by week 4, you will have given me a reading response, and that reading response will either be, it'll be over any one of those readings from the first 4 weeks, okay? It could be under the Declaration, John Winthrop. It could be Columbus's Journal. It could be the Articles of Confederation. That's up to you. Then, going into week 5, goes through September 26th, Frederick Douglass, What to the Slave is the 4th of July. I highly encourage you write on that one because it's a very important and beautifully written piece. Week 6 is going to be, you're going to finish week 6 or Unit 6 by October 3rd. We're going to read William Lord Garrison. And then week 7, W.E.B. Du Bois, we're going to talk about Black Reconstruction. Now notice at week 7, you have a second reading response due by October 10th, okay? So October 10th, I want you to give me a reading response over, you can pick which one, but it needs to be over week 5, 6, or 7, right? So you don't go, once there's a due date for that first reading response, you don't go back and do another reading response in that first section, right? You need to do week 5, 6, or 7. Week 8, we have a video. That week 8, Unit 8 will be over October 17th. Week 9, Progressivism and the New Deal will be over October 24th. That Sunday, you'll notice it's every Sunday. We'll be reading the history of the flapper. Week 10, The Lavender Scare. It's going to be over October 31st, Halloween and Reformation Day. And then week 11, you'll notice, is over November 7th, MLK from a Birmingham jail. Now you have a third reading analysis due at 11:59 on November 7th. That needs to be over week 8, week 9, 10, or 11. You can pick any one of those weeks. MLK, the Lavender Scare, History of the Flapper, Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. Whichever one of those is interesting to you and you want to write on it is perfectly acceptable. I just need that before, anytime before 11:59 on November 7th. The same is going to be true for 12 and 13. Fourth reading response is going to be due on November 21st. And that one needs to be, you only have 2 to choose from for that one. You either read Malcolm X or you read Anita Bryant, okay, or which is a video. Thanksgiving break, we're going to come back. I'm going to give you an entire week to review for your final exam, to write your final exams. That way you have a whole week and Thanksgiving break. And you're going to have the questions in another week or 2. So you can think about it all semester long. Make a good outline. And then I have to have your final exams no later than 11:59 on December 10th because I have to grade a bunch of them and get those grades in on time, okay? So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at cgleason1@gsu.edu, and I will do anything I can for you, and I will post periodic announcements and updates throughout the semester, all right? Glad to have you. I'm glad to be teaching at Georgia State again, and I look forward to a great semester. Thanks.